Hi, my name is Joanne Garrett, and I wanted to introduce to you a child named Memphis. He is currently enrolled in our BBK class. He's 4 years old, going to be 5 in December. We noticed a developmental lag, and we wanted to sit down with his family to have a meeting. It was through this meeting that we met his mom and dad. The first thing we learned is that he has an older brother that has been diagnosed with autism. Memphis' family did not like our findings, that we felt that he was having poor fine motor movement, sensory reactions, and struggling with social skills with his peers. His older brother was diagnosed at the age 4 with severe autism. This condition left him without being able to speak and many sensory issues. Knowing this information, we wanted to make sure that we were very respectful and gave them all the information that we had to help them learn more about Memphis from our point of view. We wanted to have the commitment to make sure that they understood that their child's success was our success as well. Our ways to promote and help the parents be more knowledgeable was to explain to them what we felt were Memphis's struggles. He struggles in interactions with others, poor fine motor movement and sensory reactions to the environment where he plays, sleeps, self-help skills, and where he learns every day. The first thing we did was we talked about Memphis's fine motor skills and how he was having a hard time using his finger-thumb grip with items around him. He lacks the ability to be able to answer a direct question to get a logical answer in return. If you were to ask him to tell you about his favorite bug, he would comment on how his mom gave him a blanket to sleep with. The connecting thing that would relate is the blanket would actually have a bug pattern on it. So it's through his connection and the way his brain is working to get the answers. It may not be direct, but he is, understanding in that way. When he colors or writes, his output of what he's doing is very weak, and he is unable to produce anything logical for myself to read or others. However, we did show his parents that when we gave him a piece of paper with his name on it and yellow highlighter, he was able to trace it with his finger just fine. The next issue was his express personal procedures he put himself through before he started eating, laying down at nap time, and use of the bathroom. Anytime he would eat anything, he would pick up the spoon, then put it down, pick it up again, and place the food to his mouth, then roll it around and swallow slowly. The next issue with food is the touching of food together anywhere on his plate, and the general not wanting to try new things. He would also switch the milk around in his mouth and rub his hem at the same time. After having this meeting with his parents, they reached out to Child Find and they sent out a occupational therapist. She came out and did some, one-on-one with Memphis 3 times out of the week. She discovered that he has, the occupational therapy put him on an ABA program, which is an applied behavior analysis. This treatment would include academic development, communication skills, social skills, and which would help him with handling his environment and his peers. As teachers, we first noticed that this delay of understanding for Memphis when he couldn't give directions on a task. Once we learned this delay, we let him have a moment for instructions. For example, is if we told him to do something like line up and wash his hands. If we were outside, we'd call the whole class to line up and wash hands. He would not comply right away. It would be like a delay for him to understand. Once we learned this, in doing the routine over and over and over again, he finally understood by the transition, by the children moving and him moving, and that he realized that he needed to go line up as well. For example, if our class was outside, we would call everyone to line up to wash their hands to go inside. Most children were running to get in line, but not Memphis. He was still engaged in the play that he was involved in. The accommodations we did was to allow him to process around his surroundings and peers to catch up on what he was supposed to be doing. Doing this task over and over and over again, allowing him that extra few minutes to catch up, allowed him to learn the schedule, the routine, because we did everything the same. Eventually, when we would call to line up, he was running up and getting in line just like everybody else to wash his hands. So it was just fine-tuning that little bit for him that allowed him to catch up socially with his peers. One thing that the occupational therapist felt is that he had a centrally placed issues and fears of choking. Memphis thrives well in a well-routine day and repetition actions in his day. He would also gain his low social moments by being with his peer and doing everyday interaction the same order every day. Once we learned this from the occupational therapist and his family, we all worked together to meet his needs to promote his learning and development. It is my commitment as a teacher in VBK to make sure that every child has a chance to succeed and be successful. Thank you.